want to give you an update on the warm season beans that you might remember we planted earlier this season. And here you can see the product of the Japanese wing bean. It of course gets its name because it has this really unique wing to the bean here. And so I will say we didn't get too many of these. We're just now starting to get them. However, they will continue to produce until the first frost. So I'm anxious to see how many more of these we get, but definitely a conversation piece to add to your garden. Now, the next thing that I want to show you is the one next to it, and it's kind of grown over more at the top here. And this is the Chinese red noodle bean. And so you can see how long it is. They'll get about 18 inches long. They're very thin and cylindrical. And so you can just chop those up and add those to a stir fry. But again, another unique vegetable to add into your garden. And the next one we have here, now I misspoke a little bit. We have a Thai soldier long bean, and I originally had heard that it was a bush type bean, and so we planted it here in the middle where it didn't have much trellis. But you know, when you grow new things, you learn things also. And so what we have learned is this definitely is a vining bean, and so it's actually taken off on either side and is growing up. And we're just now starting to get a few of these beans coming on, and you can see it's got that sweet pea flower, but then it also has a little bit more of a mottled effect on the actual bean there. So it's got flecks of red on your green pod as well. But of all the four that we planted, the showstopper is this one right here behind me. It is called the Indian snake bean. Now, I have to say this actually isn't a true bean. It's actually more related to the gourd family. And so you can see here why it got its name, snake bean, however, because it definitely gives you that snake vibe when you're in the garden, especially as it kind of curls towards the bottom there. So if you have a phobia with snakes, maybe don't add this one to the garden, but definitely a conversation piece. Now, earlier in the season, before they actually started producing, of course, we had the flowers. And so they produce a small, probably about a 1-inch diameter, sort of frilly white flower, something you might see on like the birdhouse gourds if you've ever grown those. So again, this is related to the gourd family. And this one is almost ready to harvest here at this point. Again, another plant that you can kind of chop up and add to a saute also. So here you have 4 unique international foods from Japan, China, Thailand, and India. And I've got one more from Italy that I want to show you. So here we have an Italian squash going called Zucchino rampicante, and you can see it's really neat to also trellis it. We've got it on a children's trellis that's a little bit smaller, so they can kind of wander through here as they're hanging down. Now, a lot of times you might think with both the Indian snake bean, which is actually a gourd, and then also this one that you might think you need to hang it or support it with a sling or something like that. These are not supported anyway. They have grown themselves over this trellis and are hanging free. So you do want to kind of be careful because they can break off, but we're not actually supporting them in any way. So it's pretty neat to see these. You can see they get several feet long also. Now this is a mild, tender summer squash, and so it actually is used a lot for gnocchi and also ravioli. If you wanted to stuff those, you could use it that way. But it can be also used as a winter squash as well. So they make have a lot of different forms. You can see we've got one here that's we've been able to harvest, and we've got several more coming on. So if you're looking to add a little international flavor into your cuisine and you can't find it at the market, you might try next summer adding it to your garden.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.